Welcome to My Worst Audition.
The first one that came up was Sopranos. I had gotten a. Now remember, this is 8x10s getting hand delivered. I believe they were still get, like people showing up with headshots. I think I was the last actor in New York still carrying around a headshot. Like
was it a black and white or was it
wasn't
color?
black and white, but
all right.
The one that went to Sopranos though was probably a black and white.
Okay.
It probably was. So I get to the audition, and it is like a room of mountain men. Every man is a monster. Muscle on top of muscle, shaved heads, and I was like, well, what do we... Oh, I don't know. So I'm like, I'm thinking like we all can't be here for the same part. So what starts to go through my head is I got to get whatever part this is going for, because like I'm the only guy here who looks like me. A lot of times I go to auditions and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of chubby guys here with brown hair. Like we all look the same. This case, I said, it's not. This is destiny. I'm going to be on Sopranos, and we didn't get the script ahead of time. We didn't get sides. But I get there, and the casting director, she comes out, and she just yells, I think she might even call me Greg, but she was like, Craig Geraghty. And I'm like, hey, how? I stand up, and from across the room, from as far away from each other as we can get, she goes, what the fuck? And I was like, what's up? And she goes, you look like you're fucking 12 years old. I can't have Tony Soprano kill a 12-year-old. So first of all, I'm not a big man, right? So now I'm standing in this room of big men. Mm-hmm. I could not have felt smaller. I was mortified. And the whole room, even all these tough guys were all like, hey. So she goes, come in. So I walk into the room, and she goes, hey, I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. And something in me just said, you're right. So I said, you're right. It was very unprofessional.
Good for you.
And she kind of like snapped at me, and she goes, well, you're here now. You should audition. I go, what's the point? And she goes, because you're in front of you're in front of one of the most successful casting directors in New York City. And I said, did it appear like it? I don't know. This isn't working for me. And she goes, you want to do the scene or what? So I go, let's do it. So it's the scene. I don't know if you were a Sopranos fan, but there was a period of time in the show where I think Tony had a heart attack, and he was walking around, and his body man was a big guy, and Tony needed to prove that he could still, be the tough guy.
And he picks a fight with him, right?
Yeah. And they were in the back of the bada bang, and So that's the role I was up for.
Yeah, you're not getting that. Yeah, no way.
And she just shredded me in front of the entire room. I was so mortified. I was so belittled. And what I did say to her, I said, you had my headshot. You brought me in.
Yeah.
My headshot says, maybe it says 5'7". I'm like 5'6.5" or something. I don't know. She was like, oh yeah, you're right. But they were tough. That was a very tough room.